This season 2 has started off in a very exciting way. That's my word. And what we've been talking about in season 2 is we've been, I put the charge to you to have faith, and that charge has been like for me as well. This is the year to have faith, and I told you we talked about reset, and we've been talking about John C. Maxwell, No Limits, blowing the cap off your capacity. Now, I'm wondering if you have been really taking that thing on very seriously, blowing the cap off your capacity. And the reason why that is important to me as we talk about this on the Bridge Broadcast Show is that it's really important for you to really live what we call the abundant life. And I know the shows have been, if you've been following me, the shows have been somewhat short in nature, but very hopefully impactful to really get you to think about, this journey of faith, this journey of living in the abundant life, this journey to get you to where you are and where you want, where you are, from where you are to where you want and need to be. And for me, that's very important because I didn't highlight the focus for Valentine's Day on love because, yes, we know that love is very important. I highlighted, and for some, this is a big a milestone in life. And at the age of 50, which I just celebrated, I was telling you I was going to, but I've actually celebrated my 50th birthday this past weekend as we're talking on this Monday night show. And I really want you to really just use my life as an example that it doesn't take being 50 to get to this place in life, but it's really taking this whole life experience that God has given us to the next level. And so with this book that I'm using by John C. Maxwell, No Limits, taking or blowing the cap off your capacity, has been really, for me, it's really been good as I'm giving it to you. It's really been good for me to give it, get it and give it to you. It has really been really wonderful. And I don't know if you remember from the beginning, because it talks about moving from awareness or having awareness plus ability plus choices really tell you what your capacity is. Awareness plus ability plus choices really talk about your capacity. And what John is doing in this book is he's really really having us really examine where do you have limits in your life. And I pass this on to you, my audience. No limits. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, whether you're in the States or whether you're far abroad. Really, you really want to really blow the cap off your limits. And so I encourage you on today, as we listen and we walk through the points that we've gotten today, I want you to really just be constantly examining, as I share, where am I having limits on my life? And I think about it oftentimes, just to recap from the last couple of lessons, that we can have limits from our life experiences. We can have limits from our family. We can have limits from what other people say to us. We can have limits because we haven't, seen other models of success. Or we can have limits because we are looking for approval from others. And so if you haven't, taken that big step in life and you haven't went on this journey to really discover and explore where your limits may be, I challenge you today. And so today, what I would like to talk to you about is the different type of capacity that we have as we look at this. And he starts off with the first capacity that he starts off with is energy capacity. And today what I want to do is to walk you through what he means when he talks about energy capacity, because, awareness plus ability plus choice gives you capacity. And so when you think about capacity, we really want to think about capacity, as your ability to push on physically. And I know that there's many people who may be stricken by some disease, chronic illnesses, or chronic pain, um, some level of chronicness, many people may be hindered, but I want to encourage you today that we can press past this in our mind and in our spirit. And so I want to talk to you. He said in his book, he said that there's several things that he needed to do for his energy, and he specifically said it like this. He said there was four things that I needed to do for energy, and he said I needed to. And let me just share with you. I feel like writing today. I feel like kind of using the board to kind of really help you see this. And ooh, I just hit the door stopper. Energy capacity. See, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about energy capacity. And John was telling a story in which he always loves to do. He said he needed to do four things, and he talked about he needed to re-engage. He was talking about it's difficult to gear up again when you're geared down. So it's like stepping out into a new space. So have you found in your space or in your life where you need to re-engage, where you need to come back into a space where you reconnect again? He said he had to reinvest. Re-engaging and reinvesting. Sometimes when you're out of a space and you step out and you don't have the energy, you have to bring yourself fully back into it. Reinvent. And I love these words that he's using. Reinvent. Sometimes we have to reinvent ourselves. We can't, we can't ride on the yesterday's successes. We have to constantly be reinventing and re-innovating ourselves. And then he says, I had to replenish. So he said he had to re-engage, reinvest, reinvent, and replenish. So he had to re-engage. Where in your life do you need to re-engage? Where also in your life that you need to reinvest, get back involved? Where in your life do you need to reinvent? There's just some things that I need to go back and do. And then where in your life do you need to replenish the wonderful R's? And for me, 2019 is kind of like a reset. And I would even add to his four things to kind of cap it all off, is to make it a reset. Where in life do you need to reset yourself? Reset yourself. And so he goes on to ask the question, why you should focus on energy instead of time. And there's just a few reasons why you should. He talks about our time here on earth is fixed. And so you want to be able to, in order to get more things done, you want to get more. If you want to get more done, you want to make a greater impact on the world. We need to increase our energy. And so time is important, but energy capacity is even greater than that. And so if you want to find yourself in a place where you're moving forward, increase your energy capacity. And so he talks about the 3 R's that applies to energy, and he likes working in R's. Where can you apply your energy? The 3 R's apply to energy. Where is this? What are they? We talked about requirement. He talked about requirement in the book. It's like, what do I have to do? Return. What I do well, and reward. What do I love to do? And so when we're thinking about energy, when you think about people who have reached their energy capacity, we're thinking about how do you get to that place of resetting? And so you look at yourself from a point of view of requirement. I'll put that over here, requirement. You got return. You have return, and then you have reward. So we're looking at this from a point of view of how do we increase that energy? And that's really important when we think about how is that energy increased. So We got requirement, return, and reward. And so requirement is what I have to do. Return is what I do well, and reward is what do I love to do. Now, um, he's saying that he never applied these terms to energy, but doing what rewards you almost gives you the energy. You know, the same is true for doing what gives you a high return. And so when you start thinking about these things, what I have to do, you know, you think about when you look at all the things that you have to do, you know, in life, in your job, in your family, what are the things that you have to do? You know, what is the things every day? What do I do well? What are some things that you do well? For me, you know, what I do well is helping people really be at the space of really moving from where they are to where they want to be. And I really enjoy this, spending time with people and really developing people to their best self. And reward, that's also what I love to do. I love helping people. I really love serving people. And so those things, they can help you really get that energy back to where you want it to be. And so when you think about the 3 R's, requirement, return, and reward, what I have to do, what I love, what I do well, and what I love to do. So when you think about your life, how do I get energy back? You want to be thinking about that. And so let's review here. So energy capacity, you want to re-engage, you want to reinvest, you want to reinvent, and you want to replenish. I equate that to what I call reset. And for me, resetting is really, really getting back to that place. And then he also talks about requirement. What do I have to do? Hold on one second. My phone rang as I'm teaching you, so that is real time, real talk. Do apologize. Let's see here. And what do I love to do? So with those things in mind, I'd like to go on to take a look at questions that help maximize energy. And so what is something in your life that helps you maximize energy? If you don't have the power to change what you do, when we're looking at that question requirement, then you really want to look at the situation and say, okay, well, what can I do? So when I'm fully charged, when you're fully charged, what's happening in your life when you're fully charged? What gets you really excited? What are some things that get you to that place when you're fully charged? You know, he references somebody in the book. He talks about meaning, interactions, and energy. And the author of this book, Tom Rath, he said, meaning is doing something that benefits another person. Interactions are creating far more positive than negative moments, and energy is making choices that improve your mental and physical health. And so, you know, Tom Rath's words, he said, stimulated me, or yes, to ask the question, what fully charged me? I want you to ask that same question. What fully charges you? What gives you energy when you're doing what you do out there? What gives you charge? And so it's a very interesting place to be as you think about this. What excites you? And many of us are operating on kind of low level energy, just really low. And one of the things that I know that is very important that could charge you is just really raising your level of love, raising your level of joy, stirring up that pot. And it's just so amazing that how your energy really affects everything who you are. And so when you think about that, really just go into that place and say, where is my energy? What happens when I'm charged up? And so he gives a couple of examples. Living in my gift zone. And so what is your gift zone? And so here's the thing. My family, they're singers. And I've watched my siblings sing. They love singing. And so when they're in those gift zones, they are operating at a level of just extreme joy. I've seen my sister, she got excited and she sang at a level of excitement at my niece's wedding. And so she was really charged when she was singing. And so, what activities, when you do them, make you feel that way? Is it sports? Is it serving? What is it? We're talking about being fully charged with energy. When you invest time with friends and family, do you feel charged when you do that? Oftentimes we don't talk about energy, but energy is so essential to keep you going. Um, is it serving others? Is it going to feed the homeless? Is it going to be in a place where seniors are? What is the thing that recharges you and give you that energy? What is that space? Um, Taking good care of yourself physically. That's very, very important. For years, my husband was like, we got to exercise, or, got these memberships and you don't exercise. And I finally I started exercising consistently, and I've gotten so much joy out of just stopping and taking good care of myself, going into the steam room, going into the therapy pool. We have a therapy pool at our workout place, and it's got like 80-degree water, getting in the hot tub, just taking some time to just replenish, rejuvenate. This is the words: replenish, reinvent, reinvest, reinvesting in myself, just giving yourself that time to physically take care of yourself. Not only that, the Lord says, the Bible says that he wants us to present our bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is our reasonable service. And so when you think about am I equipping myself to be a vessel to be used on earth? Am I positioning my body to be able to walk in that realm? Those are all important things. And so I really, really want to challenge you to take good care of yourself. Being a catalyst for growth and building. Oh my God, it's just like, this has been my lifelong journey. Like, how can I help others grow? And it's been to a fault. But I get energy out of that. No matter what happens, I just am committed. I'm just convinced that that's what God has put me on the earth to do. So that's for me. Possessing God's awareness. Oh my God. It's there's nothing like being aware, being sensitive to the Spirit, being attuned to what heaven is saying. And I just get excited just to know that, hey, God, here's my life. Use it for your glory. And so then you go to the next question: what wears me down? So when you think about it, what are some things that wear you down? What are some things that wear you down? So when I think about it, what wears me down, is negative people, negative talk, um, uh, people who are not authentic. That wears me down. And with me, those are the people that I don't find myself being around for a very long time. For me and what I do, what gives me energy, if I'm giving energy and someone's depleting it, I have to positionally remove myself from the situation. And so you want to be mindful of what depletes you. And then the last question, so how accessible are my energy pluses? Where are the things that give me pluses? So when I'm in a place when I need some energy boosts, what do I do? Because we're talking about energy capacity. We're talking about staying in the place where we're engaged, we're invested, we're invented, we're replenished. What do I do when I get to those times like that? Those times are critical for me. There's two things I love. I love jazz and I love gospel. And there's nothing like a great worship set that I can just, find myself immersed in. And there's nothing like finding some great jazz. To the late Wayman Tisdale, Those of you who may or may not know him, he was a great jazz player who was also a basketball player. And so, you find songs or things that can lift up your spirit, or you find thoughts through books that can speak to you, or you have activities that rejuvenate you. Or maybe there's some people or some friends that who can encourage you. Possibly there's some recreation. Now, here's the funny thing is, if you've been following me, I have now I've reconnected to my youthful side, coming into the whole officiating. I've discovered a side of me that I didn't really discover or open up as a child, and now it's opening up in a different way. But it's really to who I am, because as an officiator, which really speaks to me being a rule follower, I execute rules, and so you got to know yourself. Me knowing myself is just really beautiful. The soul. When you're thinking about what lifts you up, spiritual exercises that strengthen you. And we're talking from John C. Maxwell books, No Limits, Blow the Cap Off Your Capacity. And so I'm talking to you through the energy cap. Hopes, dreams that you inspire. So I just like, there's that door stopper. Just like I wrote on the board, I write papers. This is like my vision board. So I have papers of things that I'm thinking about, so thoughts or visions that I have. This would also be the place for hopes. At home, who are the family members that care about you? Giftedness, what talents that have been activated in you? Memories, what memories make you smile? Is there certain things when you smell them that you think of certain things? Books, the messages that change you. And so we're talking about those things that can create the energy pluses for you. And then the last question that wait. There's not one last question. There's one more question. He said that he challenges us as readers of the book. He said, if you find the things that are energy pluses for you, I think you'll be amazed by how much energy capacity that you can increase. And so I say all this to say, how are you increasing your energy? And so all the things that I just listed are really, really good to have you consider. Number 4. The 100% question, when do I need to be full of energy? And I would say, you want to find yourself in a place of being at energy. Energy does so much for you, holistically. You want to find yourself being in that place of energy. The 5th question, the margin question, where's the space for things that I need but haven't planned? You want to find yourself in the place where you can get yourself the time that you have to think about it, the time that you have to, just settle yourself, that those little moments that you can have to position yourself to increase your capacity. For those of you who are in places where you are stuck in traffic, or you may even have to ride the bus to work, or those little special moment times, where do you take and capture those moments to increase your energy? Because we're talking about the energy capacity, and really energy capacity is the combination with other capacities. You really, in order to really walk in that space, to get you from where you are to where you need to be, you really want to be thinking about your energy. And as you turn it up, everything in your life turns up. And so I just want to really encourage you to really think about this. And as we're going, he puts questions at the end of the book, and I just, this is the book. Okay, I'll do it when somebody said, I didn't see it. Okay, so this is the book. Okay, and so I want to really bring these questions back to you. What are the activities, people, tasks, and places that sap your energy? Become aware of that. Become attuned, because it says awareness plus ability plus choices equal capacity. And so, are you aware of those things that sap your energy? Do you know? And for some of us, it might be our own family, it might be our moms, it might be our dads, it could be your own children. Be aware of where that energy is being sapped. What are the activities, people, tasks, and places that give you greater energy? So again, it's being aware of where do you get the energy. So you got to sap the energy and you get the energy. And then lastly, in what areas of your life are you not maximizing your energy and the people and the energy of people around you? So who are you hanging around? Who are you associating with? Are you just associating people who dump on you? Are you associating with people who talk negatively all the time? Those things weigh in your spirit. And so, you know, you want to increase it. And so with that awareness and ability, you take those things, and we talked about ability, and you take that and you combine that with choices. You can choose to not be around that, and it's okay. You can choose to say, hey, I don't want to do that. There's a choice. But see, if you choose to stay in things that sap your energy, there's consequences. And so I want to encourage you on today, as we've talked about, you know, the energy capacity, blowing the capacity off your blowing the cap off your life. As we go, think about how have you let your energy be sapped. And mind you, I know that there's personalities, the introverted type personalities, you just have to draw on energy yourself. But you know, the extra energy that people take from you, where in your life can you become more aware, and where in your life can you make choices about your capacity and choose to have increased energy? Increasing your energy capacity is our goal today. And so I want you to think about this as we close up today. Think about, where is my energy capacity? Is it high or is it low? And then if it's high or low, what do I need to infuse to either make it go higher? Yeah, you want to infuse to make it go a lot higher, because you don't want to go lower. What you want to do when it's lower, you want to realize what are those things are and cut those things off so that you can take your energy up to the next level. Well, you know, it's been great spending time with you today talking about energy capacity. As we were walking through this book with John C. Maxwell. Thank you, John C. Maxwell. And I, as a coach and a trainer, and on the John C. Maxwell team, I'm delighted to bring this book to you, to bring awareness. And like I said, as I give to you, I grow as well. And so every day I'm pushing to have more energy. I encourage you to reach out to me at tinaboylewhyte.com or tinaboylewhyte@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook. Reach out, connect, and let me know kind of where are you and what are you doing? What are you doing in this 2019? You know, because I said 2019 was going to be a year of reset. And so, you know, I just want to decree blessings over your life. I want to decree and declare that God has, you know, great things for you, and that you step into what God is allowing you to be exposed to. And you receive all that God has for you in this year. And you will see the riches and the blessings that God has laid out for you. And there will be fruit that remain as a result of it. Reach out to me and let me know how you're doing. I'd love to see you. God bless you, and we will see you next week. Have a great week.